Okay, so here, what I have here again is the difference between living and non-living things. Now, what is also something we need to think about is that not all things fit in strictly in living or non-living. So let me give you an example. I have here a few things I found around my house. So I'm first going to show them to you and you try to figure out what they have in common. So I have pepper. The bottle is not important, but just the pepper inside is. This egg, which I decorated for Easter. This cardboard toilet paper roll. So it's important that it's made of this cardboard. Paper. Tea. So this inside is important, the tea itself. And this coaster, is that a word? But the cork in it is very important. Now, what all these things have in common is that all these things a while back used to be living, but they're not living anymore. So how is that possible? Well, how do we get cork? We get it from trees, and trees are living. The same goes with paper. Paper we also get from trees, just as cardboard. So all these things used to be living, okay, but they're not anymore. The same thing goes for tea. Tea was before once a living plant, but then it was picked, it was dried, cut in little pieces, and it's no longer a living thing. The same goes with pepper. Pepper was also a plant, and an egg could have been a chick, but instead it's a snack. Okay, so what is then important? What is the difference then between, let's say, some tea, and buttons? This tea used to be living. It used to be a plant, just like this egg used to be living. But plastic buttons were never alive, okay? Because plastic is just, it's never alive. The same goes with these balloons, with the plane, okay? Teddy is probably made of synthetics, so it was never alive. So what we can see is that actually we don't have just two groups. Yes, we have living things, but things that are not living could be things that used to be living, or things that never lived, okay? So I want you to think about a bit more about that, and for that I'm sending you two things. So one of them is this presentation. It says living, non-living, and never lived, okay? So it says, what do these things need to stay alive? Okay, so let's revise. All these things need to breathe, they need air, they need to eat and drink water, they need to grow, they need to move, and all of these things can reproduce, yes? All of these things can create more of themselves, yeah? A chicken by laying an egg, flower, I think with, have bees and pollen and things like that, long story. Piglets, different little, tiny little insects, fish, tree through a seed, okay? Now, what do these things have in common? Why are they no longer alive? So these are some things that used to be living, yeah? For example, here, these sheets of paper and newspaper are both made of paper, which means that they're both made of tree, which used to be living. The same goes for a pencil, yeah? Pencil is made of wood, which is coming from tree, yeah? Then we have here this thread. Now, if this thread is maybe made out of silk, if it's a silken thread, that silk comes from a little bug, so it used to be living. And this is a fossil, so it's something that used to be alive, but it's now turned into a rock, yeah? And then here we have fruit salad. So these fruits before used to be a part of a living organism, used to be on a tree and used to be living. But at some point they came off of that tree. When they came off of that tree, they stopped growing, they start inhaling oxygen, okay, so they stopped being living, okay? But then you have these things, which are made of different materials. So plastic for a bottle, metal, ceramics, plastics for laptops. These things were never living. These materials never lived, okay? So it says, now complete the worksheet sorting the pictures into the correct categories. Add one more of your own ideas to each section. So you're going to have this I'm sending you also, like, you have it here, but also sending as a worksheet if you want to do like that. So you're going to have 3 categories: living, non-living, and never lived, okay? So let's say that non-living here can be something that used to live before, but it's non-living now, and then things that never lived. And then you have all these little pictures, okay, and you need to put them where they belong, okay? If you do it on the paper, you're also going to have space to add your own examples, okay? So guys, please take a look at this, and tomorrow when we have our Zoom lesson, we have science on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, on our Zoom lesson, I'm going to see how well you remember this, because we're going to do a science quiz, okay? Guys, do your tasks. I hope that you like the idea of making a poster. I hope that by tomorrow I'll have my own ready to show you. Enjoy your day, do your tasks, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.